Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to the American Investor Show. Please click subscribe if this is your first time listening. From trader and CEO interviews to breaking news about companies you won't hear anywhere else, nobody does a better job at keeping you in the know when it comes to penny stocks. The term penny stock generally refers to a security issued by a very small company that trades at less than $5 per share. Penny stocks are extremely risky, yet they offer rates of return on investment not seen anywhere else. The host, guest, and callers are not registered financial advisors licensed by any government entity, and therefore, the following should be considered entertainment. The host, guest, and callers disclaim all liability in the event any information, commentary, analysis, opinions, advice, and/or recommendations prove to be inaccurate, incomplete, or unreliable, or result in any investment losses. Before investing in penny stocks, you should consult a professional to determine what strategy may be best for your individual needs. Now, without further ado, your host, LaSalle Anungu.
Yes, what's going on, everyone? I know this is an impromptu show. Didn't even set up the request to go live throughout the day. Let people slowly come up in here in the room right now. Shout out to everybody. What's going on, Ken? What's going on, Ken? I see you in the chat room there. All right, a little late, 10:30-ish or something like that. Let people come on into the room here. Let's let people come on into the room here. And, I mean, look, what do you have to say about the market today? You know, this is not something we did not see coming. In fact, on the last show, I talked about the fact that we were expecting a bounce and that a bounce was coming. What's going on, Stockafella, Kenny Dutton, Ken West, Trader Marv, what's going on? Curo Network, hello. Yeah, it's an oversold pop. I said this on the last show. It was fully expected to come. And at the end of the day, I want to congratulate anybody who got in there at the low, you know. Congratulations to you. Let me give you a round of applause, man. You know, in fact, I'll give you the 10-second one. How about that? You get the 10-second. You know? Round of applause to you. You know, now here's the thing. If you thought that was somehow the beginning to the run back to all-time highs, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You know, you can look at some of the classic charts, you know, the J&Js of the world. And, you know, we were at sub 30 RSI. We're at sub 30 RSI. So we knew it was coming. I mean, that selling pressure eventually is going to give way to a nice little pop. One of the greatest, I think, greatest perma bears in the media right now, Peter Schiff, called this market, basically, he called this rally, what did he say? He basically said that this was basically frogs in the pot while the water boils, right? It would be very rare for a bear market to end with a record-breaking 1,000-point rally in the Dow. It would be more common for a headline-grabbing bear market rally to keep frogs in the pot while the water boils. That's what he said. And it makes perfect sense. What's going on, Andrew Medina? Makes perfect sense. This was, if you were waiting for an opportunity to go out month 2 or 3 out, today was a great day to do that. Today was a great day to do that. You had plenty of options that were down 30, 40, 50% at the high. I mean, we damn near closed at the high, but those opportunities were available to you. I'm looking here at the futures market. We're sideways right now. I think down just 4 points. Down just 4 points right now. I fully suspect that we could very well go higher tomorrow. Why not? There's still some pretty cheap stocks out there. Right? We can get another Trump tweet like we saw today where he encouraged American people to go and buy stock. You know, that says a lot when the president of the United States, you know, says, hey, buy stock, invest. The market is cheap. You know, if you're that gullible, you think that he means that he's going to either present a new plan or policy to back up your trade. You know? But if you're someone just a little bit more intelligent than the average American, you know that the most liberal, the most leftist Congress, I mean, literally, we have people who are going to be sworn in as congressmen and women on January 3rd who literally ran on giving the American people free homes, free education, free health care, everything free. Everything's free. These people are going to be voted in on January 3rd. And if you think they're going to work to make the market better, to make it more stronger, to make it increase in value, you're going to be sadly mistaken. These people are anti-market, if anything. They could care less about the stock market. You know, the Democrats have learned their lesson being in the wilderness now for the last 3 years. They're going to Washington to tear Donald Trump apart. I fully believe that. And that means a lame duck president. That means a president who can basically only run through executive order. And what we know about executive order is all he really can do is control the finances of the federal government. A few policy here and there in terms of, policy in terms of the environment, Department of Education, blah, blah, blah. But spending bills, forget about it. Infrastructure, forget about it. Farm bills, don't even try. Don't even try. So what does that say, again, to you, the more intelligent American investor, that you should be doing? You should be selling all of these short. All of them. It's common sense. You know? And again, I'm sticking to my weekly, my monthly charts. These are blimps. These little pops that we're going, these are blimps into what's going on. I don't think you could have got any more proof how flimsy this market is on what happened today. You know, on what happened today. I mean, they were giving away Netflix today. I mean, some of these Netflix puts, they were giving them away. And we've talked about how Netflix is, you know, Netflix can't save $1 to save its life. Great product, great service. You know, but they're burning through cash like never before. Having to keep people, you know, interested in what they're doing, producing these mega shows. It's expensive. It's expensive. You know, the stock is down over damn near 50%. If I'm correct, it's 65% since June. That's got to tell you something. It's got to tell you something. Again, look at the weekly charts, look at these monthly charts, and let the moving averages speak for themselves. You know, Square Trade or Square Inc. SQ, another one. 9% day? A 9% day? That's come on. You got to be running after these puts. You got to be running after these puts. And again, I don't care if it goes up tomorrow. You know, if I've got 3, 4, 5, 6 months on an option, you know where the market's going. You know, so I don't want to beat up a dead horse on today's show. So I'm not going to spend too much time. I'd love for you guys to throw some tickers at me. Let's talk about it. You can always call up. You can always call up and talk about a stock you want us to take a look at. Penny stocks more than welcome. We can take a look at that too. And look, the penny stocks are going to run. I think some guys are jumping a little bit early. The penny stocks are going to run. When we get to the floor, they're going to run. People need to feel more pain. You know, the days of promoting and the email blast, those are coming back. Trust me, it's going to come back. Penny stocks will get hot again. All right. But remember, they were hot, smoking hot when we got to that point where, people they got desperate. They just wanted to make some money and wanted to go into something. We got to get to those levels again. When I hopped in and started promoting in 2012, I looked at those 08 charts, those 07 charts, and some of the pennies. They were insane. Not the pathetic multiple day rallies we have. Those were multiple week rallies. The 2 cent to 60 cent moves. Those were beautiful days. Somebody talking about GMER. Yeah, the rally in GMER was very interesting 2 weeks ago. Here we are, GMER. I know there's a lot of DD being put out there on GMER. OTC play, right? You got a lot of money behind the push here. A lot of interesting accounts popping up, talking about this play. Nice day today. All right, love to see a little bit more volume here. I mean, I just feel like sometimes when we talk about OTC, people have gotten so satisfied with, $50,000 days. I don't know what's going on. And again, I know the volume, the money's in the big caps right now. That's just where it is right now. Once we bottom out or just start trending, right? As I said, the OTCs, they'll come back. They'll come back. All right. Everybody loves some NBEV in here. Shout out to the NBEV traders. We'll take a look at that right now. All right. 80 rods, I don't know. NBEV. All right, let me know what's going on with NBEV. I mean, I know they're a big mover in the beverage space. If I'm correct, they were doing some cannabis things too, right? If I'm correct, it's been a minute since I've looked at it. Shout out to Ken in the chat room. Oh, Ken, you're getting us into this a little late, but nice move here. Boy, you want to talk about an account mover. You get a play like this, you catch something like that. You start seeing moves like this. Makes you want to promote right here. This makes you want to pump stocks. Look at that. That's a beautiful. Ugh. You $2,500, something like this, and you're just sitting pretty, man. That'll make your whole month. That'll make your whole month. Anybody who trades penny stocks, you know what I'm talking about. That'll make a move like this will make your whole damn month if you get it at the bottom. Hot. Absolutely. I mean, it's tearing it up. It's tearing it up, man. It's tearing it up. That's what I'm talking about. Decent volume there. I don't know what the total amount was on there. Was it at least over 100,000? Again, you're going to have to get TradingView. That's one thing I like about Equity Feed. Shout out to my partners at Equity Feed. That's one thing I do like about them is the fact that I get the cash amount without having to actually do the math myself. Okay, all right, yeah, as long as, okay, over 100,000, that's good, that's good. That's what you want to see, at least 100,000. You know, you got a good penny stock, you're bringing in 100,000. That's good. That's good. You know, at the OTC level. $1 million traded. Oh, okay, that's what's up. That's good money, Ken. That's good money. That's what you want to see. That's what you definitely want to see. I'm going to pull up some penny plays myself here in just a minute. All right, what's going on, Random Stock Run? Let's take a look at it. Looks like you guys want to take a look at some pennies today. That's fine. Getting a lot more penny tickers in the chat room. IMTE. I don't know anything about this company. The volume is just not where I would want to be for a $5 stock. I mean, 10,000 shares traded today. That's just not where I'm going to want to be, you know, with my money. I don't know if you've ever played, whoever brought that up, if you've ever played a low volume ticker. I mean, it's worse than watching paint dry. I mean, it's you know, you're watching level 2, and after a while, you just start praying for an order just to get filled. Lord Jesus, can somebody fill me? You know. Let's keep it going. UWT. Okay. All right, somebody bringing up inverse ETF. Oh, actually, no, this is not inverse. Okay, you're going long crude. Yeah, crude's been really beat up these last couple months, so that's an interesting play here. I think there's more upside on gold, but hey, if you want to play crude, that's, you know. I think there's more upside on gold, to tell you the truth. But you can play that as well. Nice play. You know. I don't know what's going on in the Middle East with all that, you know, because when you start talking crude, you start talking OPEC and, you know, whatever's going on out there. But I feel like there's a bigger move in gold about to happen here. I mean, there are a bunch of gold tickers, AU, GLD, you know. Obviously, if you want to play, I like GLD probably the most, but just because it's just so stupid liquid. Took a swing on UDOW. Okay. Yep, UDOW's another one. You know, UDOW popped today, but again, not a big believer long-term on that one. Not a big believer long-term on that one. Nice pop, though. I mean, you know, UDOW was just one of those plays way back when everybody loved, right? 2016, 2017. Some of these inverses made people's accounts. You know, some of these not the inverse, but the ultra ETFs, the bullish 2x, 3x, they made people's accounts. You know, TQQQ brings up to, you know, comes up to mind. You know, this is a monster play. This is a monster. You know, now coming back to earth, and you see how fast, because stocks go down faster than they go up. That's why you know, you make more money being pessimistic about the market and being a shorter and going to the put side than even going long, as you can see here. Look how quickly we've been able to turn in the other direction. You know, it took you damn near a year and a half to go the same distance, right? Damn near a year and a half. And we've gone back in the other way in less than 3 months, 4 months. All right? 3D display. Who's got 3D displays, T-Moon? Who's got 3D displays? Man, USMJ, I got to tell you, who brought up USMJ? Because I know Ree Benny. Ree Benny, did you change your account name? Because if I'm correct, I think Ryan gets it. You were on that USMJ, man, forever. You know, interesting move here on USMJ, but boy, is that long overdue. I mean, this is, you know, you remember I used to get people excited about USEI for the longest. I mean, I was starting to get embarrassed because I was talking about it all the time and it wasn't doing anything. But the CEO said, hey, man, you know, we're going to make a move. We're going to make a move. We're going to make a move. And I was just like, man, do something, because I'm telling people, you know, your stock's about to take off. And, you know, I'm seeing $4,000 days, you know, in the ticker. What's going on here? But sure enough, USEI popped. And the guys who, you know, had the courage to stick around made 300 to 400% on their money. You know, that's the only thing sometimes about being a quote-unquote penny stock promoter. It could be a little difficult sometimes. You know, because the traders are like, I need money and I need money now. You know. You know. Let's keep it going. And somebody get me some of these CEOs on the show, man. Let's talk. You know, I don't know what it is. Last 2 years, they start shying away from interviews. You guys remember that OTC world? They used to give interviews all the time. Used to be able to get a director or somebody to come on and talk. You know, I don't even charge people to do it. It's so funny. You come on and you say, hey, I'll let you come on for free. I won't ask you anything that's off the table. Let me know. I won't ask you about it. You know, free of charge, you can come on. Then like, well, I don't know. But if you say, hey, I'll do it for $1,000, right? I'll do it for $1,000. You come on for 20 minutes. I'll talk about your ticker and tell people to buy it. Oh, sure, yeah, whoa. You know, they want you wrapped up into the situation, you know. They want you wrapped up into the situation. I just want to talk about the great and exciting things you got going on at your company. You know. But hey, yeah, you know, we just need you to sign this piece of paper here. I'm like, well, okay, what is this? I just want an interview, man. Tahoe Resources. What does Tahoe do? I see it. It's in the precious metal space. Is it 50-50 gold and silver, or what's their specialty? You know, that's the thing about some of these mining plays. You got to actually know what they do. And then you also have some mining, quote-unquote mining stocks that aren't actually mining stocks. What they do is they service mining companies, right? Sometimes just providing them with employees. Sometimes it's, you know, payroll and all that stuff, because it's kind of weird when you talk about mining. It's not an all-year type thing sometimes. And Volon. Innova. Oh, what the hell is Innovalon? Innovalon? I don't know how to pronounce that. IT play, IT services. Again, you can give me a call. Let me know what the deal is with that. 305-600-2896. Telephone number is on the screen. Let me know what the deal is with that $14 stock. Yeah, Shirley Lewis, I know you like AU a lot, and I think you're going to be, you know, generously rewarded. You know, a lot of guys can't really think down the road, and I was one of those people for a long, long time. But I'm you know, gold hasn't. I'll be honest with you, the last 10 years it's been a joke, and quantitative easing has turned gold into that. You know, has turned people pessimistic on gold. Some people even doubt its value, right? Some people even doubt its value, and you can literally, see kind of where it starts, where QE starts really, really began, and as quantitative easing came in, the money hits the pockets of investors. Here's exactly 2011, late 2010. The value of gold, damn near loses $600, $700 an ounce. But we should see this turn up as this goes higher, as the money starts to dry up, as these asset bubbles that we built up into our economy, start to explode. We'll see a massive, massive run in gold. It's going to be huge. It's going to be incredible, It's going to be incredible what's going to happen to gold over the next 10, 20, 25 years. All right. Particularly when we lose the status of the world's #1 currency. All right. It'll just end up going to gold. People say, like, you know what? Fuck it. No country has got their shit together. No country is willing to build a currency that's really backed by something valuable. So we'll just go straight to the commodity itself. Gold is going to be that one thing where it's like, okay, I can take this anywhere in the world, and my money will be respected. Because I talk to the old timers. You talk to some of these guys who've been trading for 30, 40, 50 years, they'll tell you the dollar isn't the same. It's not the same dollar that they had just 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now, don't get it twisted. I'll still take the US dollar over Djibouti or whatever the hell that country name is, and whatever their currency is. But if you want to talk about as a safe haven of capital, that's going to change. Thank you for bringing up Gush. And again, we talked in the last ticker or two ago about crude oil and how it's been tough. Gush is a leveraged ETF on oil and gas, particularly based on what? Exploration and producers. All right. This is a Direction play. All right. Again, last couple weeks in crude, very, very tough market for them. Very, very tough market for them. All right. QPRC, Spencer Gordon. Let's take a look at it. Quest Patent Research. Tell me a little bit about Quest Patent Research. Tell me a little bit about it. Let's see what's going on with the OTCs here. Yeah, I did see that today. $1.2 million in USMJ today? USMJ, $1.293 million in USMJ. CVSI, $3.2 million. Okay. Yeah, when you start seeing the 4-letter tickers in the OTC space move, because the 5 letters are the banks and these weird ADRs and, Buckfuck Brazil or some shit like that. But when you start seeing the 4-figure tickers, the 4-letter tickers moving, bringing cash in, always a good thing. I'm watching you, Hemp. I'm watching you, Hemp. A lot of this is one of those MJ tickers a lot of people have kind of forgotten about, but this goes way back. I mean, if you're an OTC trader, this goes way back. This is a ticker that can run its ass off. you know, and I'm looking at this monthly chart, and I'm starting to see some real accumulation here. All right, so something's happening there in HEMP. Yes, indeed. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd. Mr. Lloyd's in here. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd, man. You said you've been laying low prepping. That's what's up. Any thoughts on crypto XRP? Seems really interesting with banks jumping on board. You know, but that's what they've been saying for months now, man. You remember they used to call Ripple the bank crypto, or the crypto banks trust. They've been saying that for damn near a year now. You know? You had a company out of Japan, I think it was Bitman, right? They basically said that they're out the mining business, man. I think crypto is just a waste. Hold on, let me see. Oh shit, I wasn't even logged in. Hold on. I wasn't logged into my Skype. No. Oh, what the fuck? Come on. You know, just when you need it the most, it's like, oh, your password's wrong. All right, I think I got it right now. All right, okay, I'm in now. Yes, indeed. Where you had to move money, Mr. Lloyd? Move money where? Okay. Mr. Lloyd, what's going on, man?
Man, I know I've been MIA, man. Let me tell you, let me turn you down here on this pad. Yes, man, it's been so much going on, man. The time is here.
Yeah.
If you go and look at the NASDAQ on the monthly, the time is here. If you go look at it right now, and I've basically been prepping, making sure that I'm not trading with emotions. I'm trading solidly, and I made $9,000 since the 23rd. Just basically. And can I give a preach real quick, man?
Go ahead, man. I've been trying to tell people. I've been saying this for damn near a year. The time is now. I mean, you're not going to get easier money than you're going to get right now. Period.
Right. So basically, the biggest issue that I've always had is trying to separate my emotions from what I'm seeing in the market, and basically what I've been training my mind is basically I've been manipulating my mind to believe that I'm in an arcade and pretend. You remember going to Chuck E. Cheese and playing a little ball game and getting those little tickets?
Yeah.
That's how I feel that my trading is. That's how I treat my trading, as getting tickets. I don't see it as money. And so once I start seeing it as tickets, I don't.
Lloyd, what's going on, man?
Sorry. Once I start seeing it as tickets, I start being more profitable because it doesn't feel like anything. You know, so basically I start seeing the chart a lot differently than I was before. But also, man, I mean,
so can I say that we're no longer day trading? Is that correct?
No, I mean, yes, I day trade. Actually, I day traded today. I traded the Qs. I bought 3 contracts. So once I gain like 4,000 or 5,000, then I start trading with $1,200 I start risking $1,200 to make like $400, and so I'm constantly taking profits every single day, and just to make sure it's real, I put $3,700 in my account just to feel it and spend it, because I never spent any money. I've always put it back in, keep putting it back in, but I never take it out. And so I start paying myself, and that was the hardest part for me, is to take it out, because I felt like I never deserved it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I never felt like I deserved to win that much money. I've always, oh man, this I can't, this ain't real. this is $6,000. Oh, this ain't real. Let me just, keep blowing it away. But when you put it in your account, you start to think differently.
Yeah.
And so I just start changing my perspective. But I start treating the market as if I'm in an arcade. Like you had to ask your mama for that $5 bill to get those extra tokens.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, money. I sold up, man. I sold everything just so I can focus. On, because this time is rare, and
yeah.
I've always told everybody I'm going to be a participator in this next 2008. I won't sit on the sidelines this year or whenever it comes.
Yeah.
And the problem is that people got all their money tied up in this retirement, and they don't even realize what's going on.
Oh, they have no idea, Mr. Lloyd. They have no idea. They're going to be wiped out. I mean, you're going to hear the calls for a bailout soon. I mean, that time is coming, but until we get there, I think investors should be jumping to run and ride these stocks to the floor. I really do.
Right, because volatility is really good right now, and I'm glad that I went through my trials of losing, getting that feeling of losing, because every loss I made, every loss that I've taken has always made me better. If I didn't take these losses, get your lumps early, because you've always said something, man. If you become a millionaire right off the back, you're gonna set yourself up for failure because
Absolutely.
your head is going to be too big. Mm-hmm. And so starting off at the bottom, losing everything will eventually make you successful because you're going to get tired of losing or you're going to be out the game.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm not proud of all of my losses, but but what I've never done before was make 10 grand that fast. Mm-hmm. And so I know the realization is there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start going into futures, because futures is a lot slower. I don't really like trading stocks because just the volatility. But don't get me wrong, I still trade options.
Okay.
I still trade options. But I am no longer in the PDT club.
Okay. Yeah, that's a terrible place to be. But I mean, once you get out, it's very rewarding.
Yeah. So it is, and I strive for that, man. So, thanks to the show and just the opportunities. But what are you doing with your parents' money right now? Are you still got the mutual funds, or what are you planning on doing with that?
Oh no, I mean we're all inputs. I don't know if you are also on Twitter, Mr. Lloyd. That's where I'm posting predominantly most of my trades, but I'm fully short this market, man. I already got my old man out of this market weeks ago now, and I moved a little bit to gold, but I'm still a little cautious on that, but I'm moving slowly more and more into that area. But right now, I'm short the unicorns, again, the over leveraged mid caps, the debt ridden small caps. Those are the places to be. There are a lot of easy trades that could be made right now, and it's just going after the hype, right? Going after the companies that aren't really built on, real goods and services, real products that people want. One of the things that when you study the Depression and you look at the companies that made it through the Depression, you find companies like Coca-Cola and companies that basically had goods and services that people needed every day. And the companies that didn't make it, they were companies that sold products that people in the end really didn't need, right? They didn't need to live with it. They didn't need it to live with, So I'm going after those companies because we're going into something that is going to be very, very close to a depression. And the companies that are selling products that are very trivial, that, at the end of the day, people will acclimate themselves to not having, those companies will go belly up. And that's going to be an opportunity to make some pretty good money betting against.
Right. And let me tell you what contributed to my success. And if you want, and here's my thing, if you want unreasonable results as far as hundreds of thousands of dollars, you have to think unreasonable. You have to take risk. And so if you're not willing to take a risk, and when I mean risk, I'm just talking about you have to just sometimes jump out there and just take your lumps no matter what happens. And what I realize is that there's a lot less here that meets the eye. And so basically I see the market in a different realm, and what I did was I took my smartphone away. I went to Verizon and I bought me a flip phone.
What?
I took my smartphone away.
Why that?
Because if you realize, it's a drug, man. It's literally a drug. And what I realized looking at the market, the news does not impact the market. The market is where it is because that's where it's supposed to be. And if you start looking at the news, it will really manipulate how you think. And so if you take away your smartphone for a week and just trade, you will realize that you don't need the news. You don't need it. You don't need to. You can look at that. We've been studying candles for years, man. Mm-hmm. Look at that Q stock. It's a bearish engulfing. What do you need for somebody to tell you that that's a bearish engulfing that is going to go down? We've been studying this for years. So why do we need to look at news? If you really take a step back and step away from the technology and just look at the chart, you have the skills to trade. But the problem is that when we don't feel like we have enough confidence in our trading abilities, then we start going to stock twits, we start looking at news, trying to get justification as to why we need to do something. And I start looking at the chart for what it is. And so if you start trading like you're in an arcade, and this is just me, I try to treat it like a video game because that's what it is to me. But if you start treating it as you need your rent money and stuff like that, it just is different for me. I don't see money the same way like I used to. But another thing too, I had a goal, and my biggest goal was to tell my mom and say, "Hey, Mom, I want to make sure that I'm doing it so I can make sure that you don't never have to pay another medical bill, and don't have to worry about how much heat you're going to turn on in the wintertime." And so that's my goal for trading. And so really having a goal in mind. If you're just trading just to trade, then sometimes it's really hard to be successful if you have no goal. So you really have to set goals. What is your goal when you trade? Are you just trading just to get a dollar, or are you trading for something? If you start trading for something, then I feel like you will be more probable to being more successful.
Absolutely.
So I took a lot of lumps, man. Do you think you can go a week without using your cell phone and like going out in public?
No, just because I'm so I love my Yahoo Finance. I love my I love looking at where my tickers are at. I love my Interactive Brokers app. I just love that. You know what I mean? And it's built around my life differently. I'm not really big on the social media aspects. I have an Instagram. I barely post as much as I should.
Right.
So I don't let the social media aspects get to me. So I've incorporated the smartphone in a way that it makes me productive. But I can understand where you're coming from, and I understand how some people, unfortunately, it can lead to them being very, very unproductive in their daily life.
And you guys out there, you guys need to wake up, man. The time is, you've been preaching this for a long time. Absolutely, and I've been waiting to see this. I've been waiting on this moment for a long time, and we've always been preaching on it. But this, you see that big red candle up there? That's clearly bearish. I mean, there's nothing. You don't.
Mr. Lloyd, it'll get to the bottom before they take it seriously. Like it'll hit to the bottom. And people are like, oh man, we're in a recession. Like it's happening now. Like it's happening now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's what I've been talking about, guys. This is not the opportunity to be standing on the sidelines. This is an opportunity for you to go into the market, get an option that's a month out, 2 months out, 3 months out. There's going to be a lot of bullshit pops in the meantime. But at the end of the day, 90 days from now, 60 days from now, we're going to be lower than where we are now. That's just what it is. I mean, again, you can look at the weeklies or the monthly charts and let the moving averages tell you,
Right. And another thing, too, I stopped playing the weekly options. When I realized, save your money and buy the longer term ones, because it all equals the same.
Finally, everybody's coming around. That's good. That's good to see.
because here's the thing. It's like, I bought an Amazon option. The weeklies, I never hit on a weekly option. Even though Connor used to preach it all the time, I've never done it, and I lost countless times I said, you know what? I'm gonna save me $5,000 or $6,000 and buy me a month or two out and see what happens. And it's the same type. You get the same amount of money if it was a weekly or if it's a 2 months out. And I said, what am I doing, wasting my time buying these weeklies? Mm-hmm. So it's like.
But that's how
it's like
Mr. Lloyd. It's this one option. This is 500, and then there's one that's 50 cents. But one thing you will learn, as traders and people will learn, and Mr. Lloyd, you've already figured out, is that the more expensive the option, the deeper in the money it is, the higher probability it is to be successful, right? So the game is literally set up for people who have money to keep making money, and people who don't have money to stay broke, right? Because they go after cheap options that have very little chance of winning. So they're winning 1 out of 10 times, where the guy who's buying a deep in the money option that's 3 months out, 4 months out, hell, a year out, he's winning damn near 7 out of 8, 7 out of 10 times. Right.
And here's the sickest piece of this, and this is what, and I hopefully nobody, the CIA, don't ever come after me saying this, but let me tell you what I've noticed. The candle will form first, and then the news will come. So basically, here's the example that I want to give you. If you lost $1,000 in your bank account and the bank never told you why, you're going to be pretty upset, right? Mm-hmm. But however, if you lost $1,000 and then the bank says, "Hey, Trump made a comment to the Chinese," and which resulted in you losing this $1,000, you have no choice but to listen to them. So what I'm trying to imply here is that these candles form, and then you see the news as to why. It's a BS reason as to why the market is falling. It's BS. They don't know why the market is doing it, because this is what it's supposed to do. The market has been doing this for years, but they want to give you a justification as to why it did it, because that's who we are in nature. We want to know why. But nobody really wants to delve into this to see if it's really the truth. The chart says it for itself. If you really know how to trade, you can see that that's a bearish engulf. You don't need to hear this because of Trump. Trump had nothing to do with it. Every market resets over and over and over again. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist. So that's why I cut off my smartphone. This is why I do have a computer. I do have an iPad that I'm looking at you on, but try to step away from the news and really look at the chart for what it is, and quit, and look at it as an arcade. It's a video game. That's all it is. It's just a video game where you can potentially make some tokens. If you look at it in the simplest form, you can be very profitable. But the problem is when you start thinking about money, you turn on the TV, you got commercials telling you need to buy this or you got to pay this and you got bills. But if you start looking at it, thinking about tokens and stuff like that, you don't see it as stressful as it was before. And it's going to take some time to change that mentality. That's why you haven't heard from me in a while, because you really have to train your mind to get that greed out, because greed is the number one factor on why we fail. So, I'm not greedy anymore, man. I'll throw a $20 bill on the ground right now because I know I can make it back in a couple of seconds. Money doesn't drive me anymore. It used to drive me, but it doesn't drive me anymore. And when money doesn't drive you anymore, that's when you start to become successful. But the reason why I wasn't successful because money was driving me. And so instead of me driving myself, my own mind, I let the money drive me. And so I just cut all that out, man. And here I am, I'm slowly gaining, but it's really all in your mind. It's all it is, all in your mind. If you want to be successful, you can be successful. If you want to be poor, you're going to be poor. Quit saying that you're broke. Just say that you're having a cash flow problem. Don't say that you're broke, because when you start saying that you're broke, you will become broke. If you start hanging around 9 broke people, you're going to be the 10th one. So you have to put yourself in a winning position. I moved into a luxury apartment because I want to be around people that are like-minded who want to achieve higher things. I don't want to put myself in a position to where I'm not going to win. And so you have to put yourself in a position of success, and not let money drive you as society wants you to, because then greed takes over, and then that's when you start to lose sight when you start gaining those profits. So It's some deep stuff, man. But all I can say is this: that the news comes after the candle forms, because every time the market closed, then you have to figure out why did it fall. And if you go to it, if you're on Amazon, they'll say Amazon lost 10 packages today, and so that's their reason for falling. Then you go look at Netflix, or Netflix subscriptions were low. So every stock has their own reason why it fell, and so somebody's lying here. But the reason why they do this is so it gives you the peace of mind that you didn't lose for nothing.
There it is.
This is already pre-programmed in there. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think your boy John really kind of woke me up to the realization that there's something bigger here. Yeah. So anyways, man, that's just my philosophy. I'm sorry I've been MIA, man, but I basically been prepping, just like people building those bomb shelters and stuff.
Hey,
how they kind of.
I appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd. Anytime you're on, bro, and sharing the knowledge with us, you know that.
Thanks, man. So anyways, I'll hit you up in a little bit, man. I'm just now getting settled in my new place, but definitely, man. Just if you need anything, let me know, bro.
All right, appreciate you. Thank you again,
all right,
Mr.
man,
Lloyd.
have a good day.
Yes,
indeed.
indeed.
All right, thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd for the call. Always, generous of him to come in and shoot the shit with us. Always generous of him to do that. Shout out to Mr. Lloyd again for the call, man. And with that being said, yeah, that's Mr. Lloyd in the house. Long time listener, man. Long time listener. Somebody being a little disrespectful here in the chat room. I had to put him in timeout real quick. But yeah, man, what can you say? We're headed in one direction, and it's very clear what direction that is. And that's why, again, there's no reason to make anything up. And what I'm doing here is just basically, recording history. Because I can't wait to look back at this video one day and talk about a market that, a Dow that was above 20,000. A market that was above 25,000, 22,000. I got videos, of us talking about that, because I have a feeling that we're not going to get to those levels again for a very, very long time. I feel like I'm a part of history, man. Some of these companies I brought about on my show, one day we're going to be watching, and those companies, man, I remember we used to talk about, now they're gone, man. Do you understand? That building is empty. That company doesn't exist anymore. This is crazy, man. It's crazy. Can you imagine if we had a show like this during the Depression or just before the Depression? I'd love to see what those guys were, how those guys used to talk about those tickers. I would have loved to see that. Those were some funny named companies back then they had all their names were real serious, real serious names. General Electric, Standard Oil, New York Railroad and Trust. I mean, they were just really I would have loved to hear how guys used to talk about those tickers, man. Crazy, crazy shit. Corey Kwan, you said those SQ puts will be over 40. Oh, no doubt, dude. I'm so heavy in SQ, Netflix. I mean, again, in the companies that you just know aren't built to stand the test of time, man. You don't have to read. There's nothing that SQ has that Bank of America don't have, that JP Morgan Chase don't have, that PayPal already. You got just go after the weaklings. Just go after the weaklings, and Finviz can give you that. for free. You know, FinViz, they got a great scanner. You can actually pull up show me all the companies that are losing money right now. Pull up all the companies right now trading above their 200 moving average that are down 10% year over year. Earnings per share. I'll pull it up and tell you. You know, I'm not surprised on this bounce again. Again, we got the chart here. We had the bounce today. Look exactly where we bounced. Literally on the 50 RSI, which has been support before. So you know, I'm not surprised. This is not you know. But hey, you know, some guys want to go out and buy calls. By all means, be my guest. But a month from now, a month and a half from now, you're going to be mad at yourself that you weren't patient enough to hold through a couple bounces to make sure you get the full picture. Because the guys who trade for the full picture, 6, 12 weeks positions, those guys make big money. You know, I saw the SPY today. I saw it. It was very impressive. Look, I got puts that are down today. I saw that. That's a very nice looking candlestick. All right. That's a low RSI bounce. Nothing on the monthly. You know. You know, that's hit the 50 RSI. I mean, it's literally. We tapped it this morning. I know. The full picture of the collapse? Not necessarily. What I'm just talking about is, again, just making sure you're getting, you know, because here's what I was doing and a lot of guys will do. The market is going down. They'll buy a put. Today's Tuesday. They'll buy a put that expires on Friday, right? Make a little bit of money. And then on the Friday after, they're like, damn, if I had bought an option with a little bit more time, I would have made X dollars. It's like, you already knew what the right thing to do was. Why didn't you just do it? And that was my problem. I got tired of trading options that were expiring in a couple days. And I would go back to the trade and say, God damn, if I had more time on it, I would have made more money. I would have made way more money. You know. Let's get back to the tickers. Don't want to talk too much strategy. All right. That's one of those things where it's a hole where you can kind of keep going and going and going. But, you know, I know we got a lot of new people who are always watching. You know, and again, you kind of cycle. Unfortunately, I know we got a lot of traders who are watching who've been around for a long time in here. You know, and some guys go on and move on to other things, but then a lot of guys just go broke and just kind of disappear. You know, a lot of guys go broke and disappear. You know, a lot of people don't have the love for this like they think they do. They want the money, but they don't really have love for trading. And sometimes some guys don't find that out until they lose $1,500 or they lose $2,000 or $3,000 or hell, $200. And they're like, man, fuck this shit. I don't want to do this shit. You know, it is what it is sometimes, man. There's turnover in trading too. Not just on the job, there's turnover in trading. You know. Guys make 1 or 2 trades and like, fuck this shit, I don't do that. And then they come back 5 years from now like, God damn, I wish I had stuck in the game. Lord Yase, that's just because I'm not as active as I should be. I got some really cool little 10-minute videos on particular tickers I'm going to start putting out. I did one on Netflix that I think will be, I'm going to put that out I just need to finish an intro and an outro. And I put that up probably this weekend. These just little, quick little 10-minute, because not everybody can finish these little 2-hour things that I keep putting out. And I think sometimes that hurts my user engagement because people don't have the time. So a lot of guys don't like starting and not finishing something. So they're just like, I don't want to watch. Otis Johnson said you lost a bit but still trying to figure it out. Watch my video. The only trading strategy you'll ever need. If you're just numbers is just not your thing, you're never going to look at a 10K. Bro, you know, there's a moving average strategy for you. There's a moving average, and you'll outperform the market using that. I promise you. You're never going to be following MarketWatch.com, you know, Market Beat. You're never going to be subscribed to you know, Earnings Whisperer or anything like that. There's a moving average strategy for you. It's out there. Everybody knows about moving averages, but guys just don't want to depend. I don't know what it is. A moving average strategy on a monthly or weekly chart is probably one of the most accurate trading strategies you can ever have. That's like the third video ago from now. It's like the third video ago from today. Not too far ago. I think it's called The Only Trade. It's literally called The Only Trading Strategy You'll Ever Need. All right. But yeah, while we've been talking, I've been watching, yeah, some of these OTCs, some money coming back in there. That's always good to see. Not bad for that. Not bad for that. You know, but again, going back to some of these charts here, again, notice the companies again that are really built on, you know, on a real business, right? That's not on, you know, heavy subsidized investors and PEs that don't exist because they're losing money. These companies aren't really losing their ass like they should, you know. Well, not they should, like they shouldn't be, right? Look at Coca-Cola. Look at, you know, Microsoft. We looked at that the other day. I mean, these companies have barely taken a hit because they're built on something real. I mean, Microsoft is trading at 22 times earnings, bro. 22 times earnings. That's insane for a company as big as that. That's insane. Insanely cheap. That means this company could literally be trading at double. It could be at 40 and it'd still be pretty cheap for the sector it's in. Now, obviously, Microsoft is a developed tech play, but they've got some promising things that they're doing. Why shouldn't they trade at a higher multiple? But again, you know, a drying sea kills many fish, and Microsoft is not going to be, you know, out of the question when we talk about stocks that hit lower. It's just going to be a lot slower. It's going to be a lot slower, and it's not going to go to zero. You know. But there's some very interesting plays within the sector that will go to zero, and you could be a part of that if you're willing to do a little bit of research or just use a decent moving average strategy. And I've got a video out there to show you. Andrew Medina, you're talking about TREP. TREP looking for a bounce. Okay. Yeah, we talked TREP not too long ago. We talked TREP not too long ago, and you know, it's at this point in the cycle, you know, I'm not going to bring up TREP. I'm not going to bring up TREP because it's just embarrassing at this point now to bring that ticker up. I mean, after what it's went through, I mean, you know, I don't want to say it let a lot of people down, but it's definitely not what it used to be, right? I think we can all agree with that. And you know, at this point, it's just kind of sad to see. just kind of sad to see. All right. So again, let's stick the course. All right, I'm going to wrap the show up here because, again, this is not, I don't want to beat the dead horse. I just kind of want to put it out there, not to jump and like, oh, everybody's on calls now. We could run tomorrow. I don't have no doubt about that. We can run again tomorrow. Hell, give them the whole week. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I've learned my lesson from trading. I'm not going to be emotionally pushed. I'm not going to be a coward. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know that we've got people out here who are struggling to pay student loans, struggling to pay their car notes, struggling to maintain a roof over their heads because rent is out of control in some of these urban areas. I'm not going to pretend like we don't have condos in damn near every urban area in America that's basically empty. They're basically empty. They don't have anybody in there. Just go to your local downtown at night. There's, beautiful buildings, but there are no lights in there. There's nobody living in there. There's nobody there. I posted the article on my Twitter. You've got builders in Dallas cutting $150,000 off the price of these homes. What does that say for companies like Home Depot and Lowe's? Home Depot and Lowe's, both of those 50% off from here. Someone bringing up AZUL. Don't know anything about the company AZUL. He's very low volume stock here. It looks like this is ADR. Airlines. Airlines should be running because you think this is the time now. A lot of airlines are spending a lot of money hogging fuel. They're buying a lot of fuel right now. They tend to buy aggressively when crude is cheap, but I'm not a fan of the airline business, dealing with unions, pilot unions. All right, unions for the women who work inside. What are those? I forgot what they're called. Who work inside the planes? That's a separate union. The guys who fix the plane, that's a different union. I mean, it's just the whole business is a mess, and it's a low margin business. Particularly if you're a value, airline. Yeah, it's barely been in business. I mean, this is a weekly chart, so basically this is April of 2017, so they've barely been around. All right, ACB. Oh, looks like Aurora Cannabis. Aurora Cannabis. Am I stuttering a little bit? Is my camera stuttering a little bit? Y'all ain't gonna say nothing, huh? Is it? I'm seeing myself stuttering a little bit on my camera, but if it's not bothering nobody, then fuck it. I don't want to spend 10 minutes fixing it. I'm about to head up out of here. But cannabis is still good, looking good. I mean, we had a huge, almost $2 billion investment, right, not too long ago, and a very nice acquisition by a major party, and that's something that we thought we would see a couple years ago, right? Okay, am I good? Okay, great. I thought we would see that a couple years ago, but I mean, it's not too late. It's not too late. My problem is that the money's going to start to dry out to really kind of do these acquisitions. All right. You got to understand, man, over damn near, 300, was it, how many billion? 30 billion? There's a marketwatch.com article on this where Fortune 500 spent double-digit billions in stock buybacks over the last 2.5 years. They've been buying their own stock, right? Driving up the cost of these things. So they've spent a shit ton of money manipulating the market, using cheap money, all right, that they should have been actually, instead of buying stock, making acquisitions. So when things get tight, and you've got an emerging opportunity like marijuana, you don't have, as someone like British Tobacco, you don't have the resources you need to really make a move. Appreciate you, Mr. Lloyd. Thank you, bro. Right? Because you spent the last couple of years using your tax discount that Mr. President gladly gave you on some bullshit. Buying back your stock. Oh man, what's happened to AMD is so sad. Who brought up AMD? Kenny Dutton, appreciate you. I mean, it's so sad to see what's happened since the end of the summer to AMD. You remember we were talking about $30, $35 AMD. I remember AMD. I remember Mr. Lloyd bringing up AMD when it was $6-7. So ironic. We spoke to Mr. Lloyd today. I remember him bringing this up at $6-7. Got to 30. Now look where it's at now. It looks like it's headed back to $6 or $7. And honestly, I don't see why not. Company is still losing money. Still is losing money. So something could change. Treasure Hunter, I think this is 772. What's up, man?
What's happening, Sal? What's happening, man?
Good. Well, how you been, man?
Been pretty good. Since I've been watching the market, been pretty crazy lately. Been down, then up, one little dead cat bounce kind of thing going on. So, happy holidays to you, brother.
Thank you. Same
how
to
you
you.
Been?
Good,
nice.
Bro. Enjoying the family and friends. Talk to me, man. What you looking at right now?
I'm just sit back, taking and playing at a time kind of thing. I made a nice little lick today. I know you don't like the OTCs, but
no. Let's talk about it. We've been talking OTCs today. My thing is, I just want to get. I want this market to depress because that's when I know OTC will be hot again. But when everybody's excited about making 5% a week, like it was for almost the last 2.5 years or so, then OTC is going to be dry. But let me see some tickers you're looking at.
Let me see. I only did one today. One nice little lick on one. I'm not saying it's going to continue running, but for today I did pretty good on them. He might be in the red tomorrow, but VSTR.
Okay. VSTR value setters. Okay, all right, yeah. Okay, Treasure Hunter, you've been stepping up your OTC plays. I mean, some of the, I used to be like, I don't know about it, but it looks like you stepped up.
Stand low in the cut, still checking your shows out. Like I said, bro, thanks to you, man, way many years ago when you first got the show started, man. Like I said, you helped a lot of us out, We might not call in every day, but we still, with our pen and paper, still, in Sal's school of our stock market, sitting back and watching your show, learning stuff, Okay. So I learned a lot over the years, and I thank Steve, Sal, man. I mean, you're awesome, bro.
Yeah, interesting play. Obviously, I mean, you're, it's the beginning of, it could be the beginning of something, it's still relatively low volume, but it's an interesting pop. I'm always interested in these kind of little plays that kind of show up out of nowhere. I do see here it's got pretty thin float or whatnot. I mean, again, it's something to watch. It's something to watch. It's not something for you to jump out there or anything like that. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at the level too, and I do see some pretty interesting trades that look like some kind of possible promotion or activity or guys going in there to load early.
Yeah, what I did with this one, I flipped this one time and time. Like when he's in the red, I buy him in or buy a lot, and then like I said, he always like pop up. But today, he did pretty good, and I was like, sitting back watching, see what he's gonna do, and his show's on there. I was like, man, I hear Lloyd, like 2 or 3 hours later, I just bust on you, Lloyd. But I said, yeah, let me call in, just bring up the ticket real quick, just keep an eye on it. Like I said, if he goes down, just keep an eye on it, might buy a little bit, and he'll pop back up.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is the first ticket you brought up that. The outstanding shares have been lower than $1 billion, so I'm actually pretty interested in it. And, it was something we'll watch, man. I mean, it's truly an OTC play. We'll see how, things manage out with it, but not too bad, for it to move so aggressively on just, $1,000. I mean, that's a pretty aggressive move on such, little capital. So, it's interesting to see what could happen there if some real money got put behind that.
Man, I'm telling you, like I said, I did real good on. I'm like, shit, damn, hell yeah,
Yeah.
the hood OTCs, But then he's saying when the money coming back, saying like, I think the money didn't know where to go since the market went down. They usually run OTCs. Used to be in gold, but now I think OTC plays, and I was like, yeah, I did pretty good. So sitting back, relax, and like I said, I got some more plays when I, cash out of him or maybe keep him and buy some more plays. Hit you up,
All right.
Let you know how to go.
Hey, keep me updated, bro.
But bet it up, Sal, and I keep up the good work, man. Your show's always off the chain, bro.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Anytime.
Yes, indeed, man. Yes, indeed. That's if there's one thing I respect about Treasure Hunter, bro, he's been watching my show since 2016. Since the very beginning, is that he's never waved. He's never waved. He's never been one of those guys who will call you up and he's in Nadex, and then he's in Forex, and he's in Bitcoin, and he's been strictly this is what I trade. These are OTCs that are cheaper than a penny, that have relatively, very little volume in it. I'm trying to catch them early, and I'm just trying to make some money. I respect that. I gotta get, y'all gotta respect that, man. He's committed, bro. I respect that. You've never heard him call up and ask, hey, what's going on with Google? He'll call up and say, hey, man, he'll give you a ticker like, I don't know, Max D or something like that. You know what I mean? TRSI, some company you've never, TRSI. What's going on with TRSI? And I respect that, man. So shout out to Treasure Hunter, bro. I can't wait till the market. I can't wait till the market collapse. I'd love to go back to promoting these OTCs. I'd love it. But I know where people's attention at right now. If I can't go out there and make a video and raise $250,000, it's not even worth it, man. It's not worth it. Absolutely, Six Vision. He does what works for him. People got to be broke for OTC to work the way you want it to. People got to be hungry, man. They got to be, the desire for a bag has just got to be a burning, there's got to be poverty around. You know what I mean? Itching poverty. And I'm not saying homeless, because you got to have money to put in the market. I'm just talking about shit's got to be so fucked up that OTC becomes, interesting to someone who otherwise wouldn't trade OTC stocks. That's where it really takes off. where the guy who usually would buy QQQ for, a couple contracts that are pretty expensive, all right, he'll drop 5 or 10. Now he's dropping 5 or 10 on liquid metal or some shit like that. That's when shit's really about to take off. Yeah, Felix, I mean, the video I made is applicable to anything. I mean, I saw a Forex guy say he can use it on Forex. Although I think Forex takes, too long. But, moving averages work on damn near everything. If you can trade it on a chart, a moving average can work. Check that video out. A lot of guys can't really be patient enough to kind of go through a whole video, but it's only about 15 minutes, and people get it. Some people just like straight up, oh, I like your strategy, but I just like a crossover. I'm like, cool, shit. As long as you're using moving averages, I'm cool with it. Especially if you're not mathematically inclined, you don't see yourself doing any, looking into anything like that. How long does this pump last, in your opinion? Well, it's not a pump. It's a low RSI bounce. The market has sold off so aggressively that we can't sell further, if that makes any sense. Right? There's basically an interim pause in the selling, and we could bounce for a week. We could be just a couple days. All right? But I fully, again, we can go back to 2009 and again, 2009 wasn't even that bad when you look at the chart. For the time it looked really bad because of where we were. But when you look at 2009, right, 2008, 2009, there are times when we moved, right? There are times where we moved higher. And then again, this is a weekly chart. Right? These are weekly charts. So you can look into the recession and see weeks where we were green. You can see weeks when we were green. And what you find is, in a recession, those green bars were incredible opportunities to buy options with more time for you to end up making some pretty good money on. Every single one of those green weeks, if you were just a little bit patient for a couple months, they turned into incredible buying opportunities, incredible profit opportunities, excuse me. And I don't want to switch to a monthly because then a monthly it's just so overwhelmingly negative, and it doesn't really hold water when you look at, let me see here, 2000. Okay, that's the 2000 recession. Here's 2009. See, it doesn't really show well in the monthly charts. You really see it in the weekly. Here's 2008, 2009. All right, but yeah. So you can't really see. You really see it on the weekly. You see it really on the weekly. You were a monster winner on some of these monthly charts. This is a 4 to 5 month hold. Look how much money you made there, just being a little bit patient. But as you can see here, it doesn't. If you wait too long, you miss out. This is literally a year. You wait too long, you miss out. But look at that bounce, though. Look at that 10-year bounce. That 10-year run. That's incredible, man, what we've done over the last 10 years. Absolutely incredible. So when guys get upset, you don't talk about penny stock. Well, who's going to be in penny stocks in the last 10 years when this has been happening? We had some pretty good runs between 2012, 2014 when shit got a little tight, all right? Shit got a little tight for a little while, but, who's going to be in OTC place after something like this? Let's get real. Let's get real. You know, OTC was really hot. If you go back to some of the OTC tickers from 2000, 2002, some of the message boards that are still alive, like Investors Hub. I don't know if I got some of you old school penny stock guys in here who've really been at it from like way back when. You know, when Investors Hub, because you remember Investors Hub was really hot during the early 2000s. You go back and you read some of the tickers that are like dead now, but they still have boards for them. That was the place to be back in the day for OTC. That was the Investors Hub was the place to be. You know, 10 years ago plus. Some of you guys in here know what I'm talking about. You know. ATL's own, does the strategy work only on extended time frames? No, sir. You know, you can do it on the hourly too, but again, you know, shorter time frames contain less information. That's why guys lose more. That's why you lose more on a shorter time frame. Right? A 1 minute time frame contains less information than a 5 minute time frame. 5 minute time frame contains less information than a 10 minute, 20 minute, 30 minute. The shorter the time frame, the less information you have, the less accurate you are. That's why monthly and weekly and monthly time frames are far more accurate than daily charts and hourly charts and 5 minute charts. Each candlestick represents, you know, depending on the ticker, millions, sometimes a billion more trades. What's going on, Jeff, the Me Marine? Jason, you said you got no clue what you're looking for when you go to Investors Hub. Yeah, I mean, it's you know, you got to know what your industry is. You got to know what your tickers are. You know, it's OTC can be a pit of hell sometimes. You just got to really know, you know, what to look for. Yes, indeed. Mix Slam, the only OTC ticker you need is SSFT. What is that? SSFT. Sona Soft. Oh, come on, man. What are you talking about? What is that? $96 traded today? $96? Come on, man. But hey, man, do your camping, bro. Do your camping. I mean, Mr. Lloyd, I don't know if Mr. Lloyd is still in here. He had a play just like that. We've shared this story long ago. He put some money in and forgot about it, and it just took off. I mean, into a sizable amount. Mr. Singh, what to look into if you don't mind doing the math? I use a single moving average too, by the way. Okay. Yeah, Mr. Singh. I mean, again, I started reading some of those classical investor books from the 1930s and 40s, and what you find is those traders are always they're not creating. Like now, guys creating all type of things, but back then it was very simple. It was a moving average, you know, relative strength index, and a couple other indicators, but that was pretty much it. There was no Bollinger Bands. There was no, and guys were very profitable, you know, for their time. You know, I mean, just and those classical technical strategies still work. They still work. and those books are out of print. I mean, you can find them on Amazon sometimes for free, or most of the time you can download them. Again, go to traders-library.com. That's another one. Traders plural. But a lot of those finance books you can find them on Amazon for like $1, plus shipping, of course. And the English is a little bit funny sometimes that they use in the books because, words change over time. But these guys, it's so fundamental. It's so fundamental in terms of how they talk about trading. And it can almost make you feel like it's elementary. But they were so right. 608, you're on the line. What's up? 608, you're on the line. What's going on? All right, so 608. Okay, let me give you the R. Kelly, bro.
I believe I can.
All right. Have fun, sir. Appreciate you, Andrew, man. Thank you, bro. Yeah, this is basically my New Year's show. This is basically the New Year's show. I might be back on before then, but maybe. Yeah, I could see myself back on sometime this weekend, or maybe even I don't know. We'll see. I know my old man's coming to town, so. Single moving averages. No EMAs. All single moving averages. 25 and 10, bro. Simple moving average. Yeah, ATL's on. I had an option thing on that. I actually have an option training series that I was going to start, but motherfuckers wasn't watching, so I was just like, man. I think I did like two videos on it. Because a lot of people would be like, man, you don't know what you're talking about. You's a nigga, A lot of people be on that type of shit. So even though you really giving some of the best game on YouTube and not selling shit. What are the thoughts on GSAT? My thoughts on GSAT are where you been. Yeah, ATL's on. Yeah, they're still on my channel. They're still on my channel. That's my thoughts on GSAT. What happened? If you remember correctly, we had this guy come on the show, and I think he stopped coming on. Blueberry J. I think he stopped coming on because it was embarrassing. Because every time he would give us a stock, the shit would go down and never come up. But I had fun while he was coming on the show and giving us ideas. But every time he'd give a ticker, it'd go straight to shit. And if there's one thing about trading that says is when guys really just they're not performing, they'll just disappear. Willingly. It'll be like, man, you know what, my tickets ain't shit. I'm gonna leave. That's motherfuckers stop answering the phone, stop answering tweets. You don't remember? Adrian T might be before you. I know you've been a while for a minute. His name was Blueberry J or Bloomberry J, and he was in the insurance business. This was like really before when I had just started going into trading real stocks, because shit was drying up in OTC land. And he had a little strategy. He had a little pamphlet that he gave everybody showing how to go into a trade and whatnot. You know, and that's what happens, man. Motherfuckers disappear, man. You know, when you know, shit ain't popping off. You know, you ain't trying to show your face. You know? You know, I think that's why, you know, in the end, I'm just going to win because I'm just so pessimistic. I just know all this is bullshit, man. I know all this is just built on lies, man. And exploitation of people. You know, of money and conspiracy and just this whole thing is bullshit, man. You know, trying to convince you that you know, companies that aren't profitable are worth 30-40 billion dollars. You know, this is all just, it's a sham, man. This country is like the biggest Ponzi scheme you've ever seen. You want to talk about a Ponzi scheme? Your state government is a Ponzi scheme, man. You know, the fact that most of you watching me right now are under the age of 60, and out of your check is money that goes to pay the health care and benefits for older people who didn't even, you know, want you to right to sit in the front of a bus, bro. You're a fucking Ponzi scheme, man. You know, and I'm not to get too deep, I'm just saying, like, why should my money even be going? You know, it's crazy, man. It's just crazy. You know, it's crazy. Not to get too deep with it. Not to get too deep, because I know people all say, okay. But this whole economy is built on the house of cards. I was looking at, you know, my state, North Carolina. You know, over $10 billion. $10 billion in unfunded obligations. Unfunded obligations. That means there's no money to pay for that. You know. Crazy ass shit, man. How do you build an economy around that? How do you live and work every day knowing that there's going to be, you know, something's going to happen where that's got to get filled somehow. Right? But you got people building houses like everything is going to be okay. You got people buying houses like everything is going to be okay. Bro, one day you're going to wake up and they're going to be like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, we can't offer police services for your area because we don't have enough money to pay any police for that area. This is facts, man. You know, we don't provide water services for that county right now. You know, unfortunately, it's not in the budget for your county to have water services this fiscal year. That's coming, man. That's coming for real. I mean, you can look at the budget. You know, might not be today, might not be tomorrow, but your lifetime. You know, your lifetime. You know, especially if you're hearing my voice right now and you're under the age of 50, you know, oh, you're going to get it because 9 times out of 10, you're going to live until you're in your mid 80s, you know, God willing. And that's, you know, even if you're 50, that's not too long from now. I don't see how those obligations get paid. You know, and that money printer is running out of paper. Oh, healthcare is ridiculous now, man. The cost of healthcare is atrocious, and it didn't even have to get to that level. It's just the fact that we created a system where we allowed a lot of, unfortunate, not capitalism to run amok, because capitalism is good, but the violation of capitalism through healthcare, where we allowed some of these companies to charge just absolutely atrocious amounts of money for certain drugs. And then we allowed the federal government to say, hey, it doesn't matter how much it costs, we'll cut you a check against it. So we created these incredibly huge artificial bubbles in the healthcare space. You say, why should healthcare make private? Well, private healthcare is, at the end of the day, it's helped encourage cures and treatments and stuff like that. So, at the end of the day, capitalism does work. It's just when you violate the rules of capitalism, that's where you go too far. When a pill is legit worth $3 a pill and you're allowed to sell it for $300 a pill, and then you have a government that's willing to cut you a check for $300, that's a violation of capitalism. That's not even capitalism. And that's where we went wrong, man. And we've been doing that across thousands of medications for God knows how long now. How about that SPY rebound? Yeah, Troy, insane bounce, man. We talked about that earlier in the show. Insane bounce, and it's going to bounce for. Again, it could happen tomorrow. It could be the rest of the week. Let them have it, man. Make sure you're enjoying some of the Peter Schiff. Again, if you don't know who this guy is, Peter Schiff, make sure you get and enjoy some of his content. I get a lot of stuff from him. He's one of those guys where I just started listening to him, and it was just like, man, this is some real shit. And I went back and looked into what he was saying, and it all matched up. It all matched up. Look into some of your urban school systems and notice how they're all going charter. Why? Because they ain't got no money for public schools. I ain't got no money. So, if I don't have no money, I'm just going to go straight charter. And eventually what's going to happen is like, okay, well, we don't want to pay the charters anymore, so you're just going to have to pay for school. That's what's going to happen. We don't have the money to give the charters. We're just going to need everybody to start paying for high school, paying for middle school, paying for pre-K, paying for all that shit now. There's no money. Otis Johnson, sound my promise, finding good plays where you can stand to find those plays. There are plays everywhere, man. What are you talking about, Otis Johnson? Are we talking options or straight stocks or what? There are plays everywhere. One thing about trading, there's always a play. It's just, do you have enough money to make it worth your while? There are plays everywhere. It's just guys don't have enough money. And I'm one of them. I don't have more than enough money for all the opportunities there are to trade. Plays everywhere. You look at charts long enough, you will find great opportunities everywhere. Everywhere. And what I learned a while ago is that it's easier to find weakness than it is to find strength when it comes to the market. So I specifically look for weakness. I look for stocks that underperform. I look for stocks that are losing money. I look for stocks that lose their investors' money, that are over leveraged, that borrow a lot, that have high debt, that trade at insane multiples. It's extremely easy to find those type of companies than to find stocks that 30 years from now you're going to be like, oh, I'm so happy. I in 19 so and so I bought, or in 2000 so and so I bought. Those are some hard ass fucking stocks to buy. That's why I'm not so impressed with guys like Warren Buffett. Everybody, Warren Buffett, the Orcl, oh my, that guy was just born at the right time to the right people. But you can't deny when he was born has everything to do with the fact of how rich he is. He was born at literally at the perfect time. He bought stocks at the best opportunities in American history to buy stocks. He's luck personified. Is it Warren Buffett plays penny stocks? Does he? I don't know. I've never heard him buy a penny stock, but RB, good evening, Sal. You're new here, new to stock option. Okay, where should you start? OptionAlpha.com. I love sending people over there. OptionAlpha.com. He's got 12 free courses. All of them are free. If you got the time, you can go through them and learn a lot. Said Warren Buffett is an outlier. Absolutely. I mean, he's one in God knows how many billion. But he's been a figure that has inspired millions of people to get into trading. Even though some people may say he's, not the one to really kind of be obsessed with, but he's an AI robot reptilian. It's hilarious. It'll be a huge loss when he's gone, though. It would be a huge... I can't imagine a world without Warren Buffett. It's hard to imagine. I mean, he's not been one of those guys who's been like, yeah, part of the national dialogue or something, but in that space, it's just nice to have him there. When Warren Buffett, George Soros, when those guys are gone, it's gonna be a little weird, because we don't really have any other. You don't really have any other, or maybe my mind is small on that, but you don't really have any other figures in high-end finance where it's just like, oh, wow, that guy. We don't really have those guys anymore like that. I know there's Jim Rogers, but he's, Soros is an economic oh, come on. Don't, come on. He's not. You're giving him too much power. You're giving him too much power. Soros ain't that strong, man. You're giving him too much power. You're giving him too much power. All right, looks like we got a troll in the audience now here, talking about 2-hour shows. We got a troll in the audience. All right. All right, we got it. Yeah, my girlfriend's trolling in the chat room, so we got to give her the enormous penis song. Give her the enormous penis song.
I take a look at my enormous penis, and my troubles start melting away. I take a look at my enormous penis, and the happy times are coming to stay. I gotta sing and I dance when I glance in my pants, and the feeling's like a sunshiny day. I take a look at my enormous penis, and everything is going my way.
All right, all right. Yes, indeed, man. All right. So a few more tickets and we'll get up out of here. Few more tickets and we'll get up out of here because there's not much left to say, man. I mean, we all know where this market is going. It's not what I like about it. It is exciting though. It's just so exciting to see people get so triggered, man. It's so exciting to see people get so triggered on CNBC. I've been, this is an overreaction, guys. This is an overreaction. I still think equities are cheap right here. I still think you gotta not be in cash. You gotta be invested. I mean, these people are literally trying to convince you to lose your ass. It's not as boring as like 6 months after Trump got elected. As a shorter, that was so hard, man. Whew. After Trump got elected, boy, that was hard. Look at that. After Trump got elected from November to about like October, that was hard, man. Whew. Boy, that was hard. You want to talk about taking L's, man. It got to a point where I actually made an episode. Some of you might remember. I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to speak against Trump anymore. Y'all can fucking have this fucking market. I got to that point. I was just like, man, fuck this shit. Actually, I'm watching it move, but man, somebody was talking about my JC Penney puts. I don't know. Maybe I didn't do it right or something, but I thought like that would be like that one put that would have me like in the big house. Because I had bought like JC Penney 20, I think it was JC Penney 2020 or something like that for $1, and I bought them back like months ago. Now I fucked up and I did liquidate them a while ago, but I had saw them move. The stock market. I mean, JC Penney started crashing, whatever, and I would see movement, but it would like pop 50%, and then like the next day it would be like gone. It was just weird, man. It just never really. I don't know. Maybe again, I bought them when I was very impatient. And I don't even want to take a look at them now because I probably shit on myself if I did. I probably shit on myself if I did go look at them and they're like $10 or something like that. And I literally bought those for like 8 cents a pop. I bought the $1 JCPenney options. This was like January. This was like January for like 8 cents. January of this year. Yeah, JCPenney puts go up. Yeah, they go up too slow. They're too slow. I messed up on that. Shout out to the people putting what's up, Victor. Jeff St. Teal. You bought AAU for $12.12 at the low. It should be up nicely. That's what's up, Jeff. I'm telling you, gold is going to be fine. I'm being weak on gold right now. Gold is going to be a monster play, man. I'm gonna love to talk about gold this time next year because I know we're gonna be much higher on gold this time next year. No, Troy, I'm out of them, man. I'm out of them. They weren't doing shit. Otis, yeah, I talked about, over a year ago now, on those JC Penney. They weren't doing nothing, man. They're just sitting in the account, and when you have a ticker that's just sitting in your account and it's just going up or down, and it's just not really, and it's fucking up all the numbers in your account, making you look like you're losing, and you're like, okay, let me get this shit up out of here. I like what they did at Ford, getting rid of the cars, and now they're just straight SUV. I don't know why these GM and Ford, they letting Elon Musk play with them like that. I mean, everything that Elon has, GM could do overnight. I don't know why they let him play with them like that. It just goes to show you how GM, Ford, Chrysler, they've really lost their competitive spirit, These companies have really lost their competitive spirit. They just don't push like they used to. It used to be really about trying to, be the best at the space. Now I think they just make cars because that's just what they've been doing. Like, fuck it, we're Ford, we make cars. It is what it is. But they don't really push the boundaries anymore. Oh, you said here. Well, I'm looking at here. It looks like it's been a great short. You look at here, it looks like it's been a great short, man. Oh. Yeah, looks like it's been a great short, man. You look at here on the monthly. I mean, it's been a loser month after month. Yeah, I don't think Tesla's going to make it out of a recession. I don't think Tesla makes it out of recession. You got to understand, Tesla, Tesla is one of those cars you buy because you get a lot of government. What's the word for it? But I think the government gives you a lot of credits towards the purchase of a Tesla. Then also, you got to understand that the economic class that buys a Tesla, many of those guys have connections that give them access to money and low interest loans and stuff like that allow them to be in the positions that they're in. The difference between a lot of middle class people and wealthy people is just the wealthy sometimes just know somebody who's going to give them access to money to get things done. And middle class and poor people just don't have that contact. That's why certain people in California can walk into an office and get $10 million for a company that doesn't produce anything and doesn't make a profit. But then that's why, again, you're pessimistic. And those that are dumb enough to go public, you can short those. Like, we're going to have Uber go public soon. We're going to get Uber go public soon. And whatever that opens up at, you're going to want to buy a spread on that and see what happens. Because it's going to be really interesting to see. Because I still think they got something something awesome going there with that. But it could be overpriced like many offerings are. RB, so when the market is going to crush, so when is the market going to crush, or is it crush? It is crushing now. Should you be going hard on the options trading? Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So let me wrap it up, guys. I'm going to wrap up the show here. They're not letting me use closing time anymore. I don't know, man. One of you motherfuckers snitched on me. So now every time I use closing time, they try to take the profits from my show. You know, motherfuckers is always snitching on me, man. So I gotta find another song to end my show with. Can't stand that shit, man. I don't know whatever happened to that. I used to have a Rick Ross beat, but motherfuckers. I don't know what happened to that Rick Ross beat. Do I ever still have? I don't even have that beat no more. Yeah, I used to end the show to closing time. I can't do that no more. Like, what the fuck, man? Juice WRLD type beat. What is that? Yeah, I don't. What does what mean, Adrian T? Yeah, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit that like button here before I get up out of here, guys. Hey, look, I appreciate every single one of the 71 people in here watching. I appreciate all of you guys in here watching. All right, you love this shit like I do. You know, a lot of people don't even have it in them to listen to you know, investment anything for 10 minutes, let alone goddamn 2 hours. Let alone 2 hours. So I appreciate you guys so very much. You know, I don't do this for popularity. I do it for the love of the trade. I've seen the difference it's made in my life. I know about the differences it's made in you guys' life because you tell me and you email me and you let me know, and I'm very, very grateful for that. So, awesome show. Thank you. I appreciate you, Jason, Lord Yase. Appreciate you, bro. Stock Alert Z. Appreciate you. I'm trying to get back in the grind again. I'm gonna try and get back in the grind again. I'm going to be putting out some like quick 10-minute stuff. So it was because motherfuckers complain about it's 2 hours. What 2 hours? Okay, all right, man. You know, so some little ticker talk. Go back to doing a little bit of ticker talk. Quick hits that I could put out here and there. You know. So we'll see. Thank you, Shirley Lewis. Thank you, man. Shirley, you've been watching for a long time. Appreciate you. All you guys, you know who you are. You know, we've been around here. Mr. Lloyd, thank you for the call. Treasure Hunter, thank you for the call. If anybody knows what happened to James Bond, let me know. Let me know what happened to James Bond, man. I had a question about him pop up in my head because, you know, last time we talked to him, things were a little bit rough and he had been going through a lot of issues. And I don't know, he just popped up in my head recently. So if any of you guys know how to reach him, let me know. Let me. I'm just kind of curious of as to how things are working out for him. All right. Pursuit of Freedom. Thank you, Pursuit of Freedom. Appreciate you, bro. Yes, indeed, man. Oh, you say you remember the 5-hour shows and the Friday? I appreciate you, bro. Yeah, 5-hour shows. We had a 7-hour. We had an 8-hour show back in the day. I'm too old now, man. Shit, I'm 32, bro. I'm too old for them 7-hour shows. You know, I don't know. I'm old as fuck now. All right. With that being said, guys, I'll see you same time, same place. I'm gonna try to get on this weekend, but I know, look, it's you know, New Year's and shit. Motherfuckers probably won't even watch. But if not, definitely after the New Year's. All right. If I'm not back, Happy New Year's to you. Write down what your goals are going to be for next year, and try to do your best to stay on top of them for longer than 2 weeks. That tends to work out a lot better when you do. All right. Check out my sponsors, blackboxtrader.org, equityfeed.com. Make sure you like my show. Hit me up with a donation. I'm still black, so come on. Y'all know I got to pay the taxes too. I appreciate that, Lord Yase. Yes, indeed. All right. Yes, indeed. Yeah, every day I'm hustling. I don't know what happened. I gotta get that Rick Ross beat back. I thought I still had it on my computer, but I'm not finding it. All right, let me go out there because I'm just looking for an excuse to keep talking. All right, I'm out, guys. See you in a bit.